Hi, good morning. My name is Johnny Benitez, and I am the Partner Engineering Lead for Google Cloud in the Philippines. First of all, I would like to thank VST ECS for inviting me to present and share Google's infrastructure and application modernization story with all of you. I am very excited to show you how we have helped customers, not only in the Philippines and the region, on how they have modernized their applications in order to help them digitally transform. So let's begin. So, as we all know, every industry is going digital, not only in the Philippines, but in the rest of the world. I have been working with customers and partners in Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and I've seen this to be a very consistent trend where a lot of enterprises are beginning to have already moved their systems to the cloud and have realized that hey, I I'm beginning to have a lot of applications that's running on cloud provider one. Some people are running on Google Cloud, and sometimes they've actually kept some of their on-premise systems and then integrated it with the cloud. That introduced a new challenge for them in how will they manage their cloud infrastructure across multiple clouds and on-premise, because this migration has happened very quickly. They're also being challenged by their management to help in speeding up digital transformation by innovating and coming up with new products and services to support the business in this new digital world. So they're able to adapt and really because a lot of their customers and the users have said, we need to be digital now. We need to innovate faster. We need to be able to adapt to the changing needs by going online, whether it be working remotely or doing it or being able to service your customers through new channels such as mobile, e-commerce, and all of that. Um, and that by 2025, because of these new digital transformation changes, what they saw was as they moved to the cloud, they have a lot of they have a sudden increase of their applications, or not just of their applications, but their users. The number of transactions wherein their old processes and technologies could no longer keep up simply because there's such a huge volume of transactions, which is why we foresee that in by 2025, aside from moving your infrastructure to the cloud, you need to modernize your apps to take advantage of artificial intelligence technologies to be able to service your customers, whether it be in doing predictive analytics for your inventory, or you're going to use chatbots or AI to manage all these transactions, or even using AI technologies to detect fraud. This is what's happening right now, not only in the Philippines, but in the rest of the world. And these are the challenges that Google has been at the forefront of helping our customers adapt and support and really embrace digital. Uh, okay, um, this is why Google is probably the best partner for your journey to become a digital company, right? This diagram shows you that we can help you above the line. So we can help you either by helping you think of these new workloads. How do you design these new workloads to be able to work efficiently on the cloud, or even migrate your on-premise information to the cloud? Like, how do I get there quickly so that I can actually modernize your applications and adapt these AI and ML technologies to help your business? And also, we are the experts in digital transformation because we are able to show you how to deliver new customer experiences, how to reach new audiences, not only just by having a website, but being able to be present and where your customers are, whether it be an e-commerce platform, shopping, or advertising on YouTube. Google is able to support you on this because we have the technologies and the culture, the digital culture that can help you understand how to perform better on the cloud, whether it be using a multi-cloud technology such as Anthos, or using our enterprise class data warehouse called BigQuery to be able to get insights from your data using machine learning, or even just teaching your staff or even changing the culture of your company to be from a hierarchical model to a more innovation focused company where people are collaborating and sharing and trying to think of what they can do next. Okay, and that's something that Google has really helped companies such as AirAsia, uh, NTUC in Singapore, and other companies in the region to really change the way they do things, not only on the technology level, but even on the cultural level and even the way you work, from your IT team to your staff to how you think about doing your business. What makes us different? Well, I can go through a list of this, but I will only probably highlight, you know, three things, right? Maybe the first thing is we have the best in class security. When you go digital, you have to think of security first, security and privacy, and that's the first thing that we have learned about being on the cloud. Google having all these having so many users, we probably have like five or six products with over a billion users. YouTube, Gmail, Android. Those are things, and by having so many users, we have learned a lot on how to secure our systems, how to prevent, not only from being hacked or by taking our systems, by even to protect our systems by being scalable and secure, but more importantly, protecting the individual user. What are the ways that we are able to protect your identity? Because when users work with us, we need to make sure that your identity and your personal identify your information is actually protected. And because of that, we're able to apply these techniques and learnings into customers that have adopted Google Cloud. A lot of the products that we have in Google Cloud have security built in. It's not a separate product. It's already there. We actually are able to detect any anomalies and everything in the systems that are running on Google Cloud. We can see if it's getting a denial of service attack. We can see if, hey, there are vulnerabilities, and we actually proactively inform the customer because you have to be secure. The second thing that we are able to do is we enable choice by giving you a hybrid and multi-cloud approach. One of the things that Google is known for is that we have adopted open source technologies. We have made sure that our system, we do not believe in vendor lock-in. When we help customers out, we want to make sure that they stay with us and that they adopt technologies that they can run on Google Cloud or even on other clouds or on even on premise. And that's because we believe in the culture of open source, the ability of using software that you can run anywhere, right? And being able to ensure that everyone has access to this software and not something that's very proprietary. That's something that in my 7 years working was very consistent. That I literally can move my applications and my resources across any cloud, and this is great for customers because you know that we are really in it to help you be successful, and we want you to really stay with Google because not because you adopted our technology, but because but because you find that our service is the best. And that brings me to the third point, which is by working with us in Google, we actually bring to you the best of Google. We bring you the best not technologies. We bring you the best cloud architects. We also bring you the best partners who are actually well versed in these cloud technologies to help you be successful and focus less on operations and do more innovative and more transformational projects. So based on a study, we saw that around 90, there is an increase of 94%, wherein like CIOs have changed their role from just running or setting up virtual machines or servers or keeping the lights on by being the partner of business leaders that by being the one that the business leaders or the CEO goes to help in innovation and helping drive innovation in their organization so that you can actually be faster at time to market. It's no longer just run things and that's it. No, this is all about how do we get to the market faster? And that's something that really, with the digital transformation shift, is actually very consistent. That CIOs are now part of the innovation process and are part of the business and product development process. So as a CIO, what is the first thing that they did? Well, the first thing that most CIOs do to transform themselves is really um, infrastructure, moving your infrastructure to the cloud. So so the first step for everyone is really just to virtualize your infrastructure and move it to the cloud. You can do a lift and shift. We can help you with that, or you can actually start migrating to something called infrastructure or code, where instead of manually provisioning your infrastructure, but when you move to the cloud, you can actually do it programmatically using scripts and automation to be able to set it up. You can already build your own cloud native COEs. Like that's the first step. Like getting your staff, finding, let's say, a couple of your team to be able to like really adopt cloud and establishing a cloud center of excellence in it, just to understand how your on-premise systems can move to the cloud. But what's more important is, but the journey doesn't end there. After you have done that, it's all about how do you modernize those applications after you've moved all of your infrastructure to the cloud. How can we modernize the applications? When you say modernized application, is you can actually start moving from a monolithic design to something that's very locked into the machine, to something what we call a microservices architecture, where you are now ensuring that the instead of having one system, you can actually just get the important parts and make it into microservices. That's something that has been adopted by a lot of companies in order to help them become more agile and scalable. They have used, let's say, event driven architecture. They have deployed these services across multiple clouds, so that should anything happen with one cloud, they can easily shift. Their service continues running because they've actually effectively distributed it. And they're actually moved from just having a COE or an IT team, that a center of excellence, just to move your infrastructure, to what we call SRE, or site reliability engineering, where the engineers or your operations teams are now using code to automate stuff and to be able to monitor and manage your infrastructure at scale by using metrics and uh, and uh, and DevOps techniques to be able to help your IT teams collaborate with your developers in order to be able to make sure that everything is automated and you're able to deploy faster. Now, what's the benefit of this, of moving to this type of modernizing your applications? Based on what we've seen, is that if you modernize your infrastructure and your applications, you can actually deploy your code faster. You can actually deploy changes to your applications faster. You can also um, uh, it also increases the resiliency of your system. So rather than, if you deploy a new code to the cloud, if you automate it, you can actually get it to production in a matter of days, rather than a matter of months, where you have to go through an extensive change management process. The other thing for that is that, should you deploy something to the cloud, and let's say one of your systems goes down, you can easily roll back, or you don't, and you're able to recover faster, because since everything is automated, you can actually just roll back these changes and still keep your services running, because you've moved to a microservices architecture. There is no longer a single point of failure of your application. And and because of this, if you've automated and put in the right controls and processes in the code deployment, your change failure rate is actually goes lower, because in Google, we've developed all of these technologies and techniques and processes that even before the code gets to cloud, it has been checked several times. It is properly signed with a security certificate, so that you're sure that by the time it gets to the cloud, you've already you've already done extensive testing, both on the application level and on the security layer. And this is what enables you to be able to support your business needs faster, right? But don't take my word for it. You can actually look at the website called Dora. It's called DevOps Research and Assessment, which it's a site that really has done a study of what are the benefits of going to DevOps for customers. So we've recently released this. You can look it up on the Google Cloud website. We have a copy of that report. But the highlight of this report is that one, most organizations that have if you notice that we classify organizations by elite, high, medium, or low. It's interesting that in 2021, around 40% of the organizations have adopted this DevOps culture. Uh, um, Around 40% have already adopted, are at the high level of the DevOps culture. And because of that, at the high level, they're able to deploy between once per day and once per week for like code changes. They're able to deploy more quickly, and they actually have a better SLA whenever something goes wrong. They're able to like recover very quickly as compared to organizations who probably are just starting on their journey on this DevOps journey. So again, this is a study. Feel free to go online and just go to the Google Cloud website and then check it out. How are we able to do this? Like, so that's great, Johnny. Like, but most customers are always telling me that's great, Johnny. But how can Google help us do this? What are the things that we need to do? Well, a good place to start is something called we have a technology called Anthos. So Anthos is our hybrid and multi-cloud technology that allows us to be able to run on Google Cloud and all major clouds, which I'll show you later, as well as your on-premise data center. So this is the product that we have developed to help more customers benefit from running on multi-cloud, and we've actually put all our expertise and best practices into this product so that you can benefit from it. How does it work? So Anthos is actually built on Kubernetes. So if you're there's a Kubernetes it's a Kubernetes based platform. So Kubernetes is an open source technology that runs everywhere you do, right? So it will run anywhere. It can run on your data center. It can run on your cloud infrastructure. Uh, Everything. But the good thing about this is that with Anthos, aside from allowing you to deploy Kubernetes across multiple clouds or even on your VMware servers or on bare metal, Anthos gives you this management layer that allows you to monitor and manage across multiple clouds. You can do application management, so you can actually see what the status of your applications running across multiple clouds. You can automate the deployment so that when you push out a fix or a bug or a new update, it will automatically update that service across multiple clouds. And most importantly, it allows you to observe and observe what's going on, to monitor it, and ensure that all of the applications are actually compliant with your security policies. If you try to do this multi-cloud approach without Anthos, it would be very difficult to do it to monitor all of your Kubernetes clusters and all the services running on your Kubernetes clusters in real time. So this is the and this has been recognized by Forrester as one of the top. That is because of Anthos. We have been recognized by Forrester as a leader in the multi-cloud container development platform. So this is a very good. This is one of the good recognitions simply because we are so. The Anthos has really built in everything that you need to run on multi-cloud. That is why we are really considered as one of the best in this field. Why is that? Why are we the best? Why do I think we are the best? Well, simply because of experience, right? So we've been doing so Anthos is actually only been released in 2019, but it is backed up by technology that we have been using in Google and that we have been contributing to open source community since 2003. So actually in 2006, we were the ones who helped share our container-based platform. So this we showed a lot. We've published white papers on how to deploy containers to the cloud in order to make you more efficient. And then later on, we actually started in 2013. We actually started contributing to the Kubernetes community and really sharing our experiences internally from all the years of experience that we have in running containers and managing it at scale via the Kubernetes community. So as you can see, from 2013 to 2019, we've been releasing a lot of not only just updating Kubernetes, but we're also releasing tools to help manage and optimize your Kubernetes infrastructure. We just decided to put it into a product called Anthos, which contains everything that we have learned and is consistently being updated by um, uh, so that you can benefit from our years of experience. Uh, this is a high level architecture of the Anthos platform component. So generally, if you adopt Anthos, you have an application management layer. There is a management console. There are some policy management layer, as well as a service management. This is the Istio, which allows us to monitor the service and the service mesh. So there are a lot of these things. Now, I won't go through it today. If you want to go geek out on it, feel free to reach out to me. We can actually talk more about this one. But I'm just going to highlight again three things that I think that makes Anthos very, very good. The first is really that it is a best-in-class Kubernetes environment. So, look, we help develop Kubernetes. We are continuously updating Kubernetes. So when you need to adopt Kubernetes and you want to run it on Google Cloud, it's probably the easiest to run it on Google Cloud, simply because we're really on the forefront of Kubernetes. So if you wanted to adopt Kubernetes containers, Kubernetes clusters, you can actually go to Google and just click on, hey, I want to spin up a GKE a cluster. In about 5 minutes, you're up and running and you're able to deploy your containers to the Google Cloud. That aside from speed, we are able to support scaling. So that is something that we're very good at. We can easily scale up your Kubernetes clusters. We can also have automated management and repairs and detection of, let's say, if a Kubernetes clusters fail, we can easily spin up a new one within seconds, right? Our infrastructure has been really designed to support this type of environment. So this is something that our servers, our tools, and our monitoring is able to support. So if you are to adopt Anthos, it is actually you can actually benefit from our Kubernetes experience. So you can deploy your Kubernetes clusters on our cloud, or you can deploy it on other clouds, and we can help manage that for you. The second item is that we have a unified management hub. So as you adopt Kubernetes and containers and microservices, one of the things that you're going to have a challenge with is actually how do you orchestrate and manage these containers, assuming they're on Google Cloud, assuming that maybe some of your containers might be running on premise. How do you do it on a single pane of glass? Well, the good news is that's exactly why we developed Anthos, is because we know that problem is going to come about. That you're going to have, as you split to microservices, you're no longer just maintaining hundreds of servers, but you're probably maintaining thousands of containers. And that you have to really see what's going on every day and see if there's something wrong or troubleshoot it very quickly. Anthos provides you that single pane of glass that allows you to monitor, manage, enforce configuration changes and policies across your container, across your multiple Kubernetes clusters. So that's something that you can benefit from. And then finally, a lot of people tell me, "Hey Johnny, how do we migrate our VMs and move or how I have everything now is in a VM. I want that some of my VMs become, when we move it to the cloud, I want to move it as it is." But or some of them say, you know what, when we move, we want to actually migrate. We actually want to convert them into containers. So we have developed tools. We have developed two tools. One is Migrate for Compute Engine. So that is a VM migration lift and shift tool, which we provide to all of our customers, that you can migrate your virtual machines, whether they're running on your hypervisors and moving it to the Google Cloud. That's something we can do, and it can do it. Then that's very easy to do. But what's more important is, but what if you wanted to migrate your virtual machines directly into into a container? Like, when you want to make sure when it gets to Google Cloud, it's already a container, and that it is something that is deployed on GKE. So Anthos comes with what we call Migrate for Anthos, which actually brings the power of containerization to your existing workload. So we can take a virtual machine, assess it, see what services are actually can be actually migrated into a container, and this tool will help you migrate that. So this is something that's very cool, and it actually I think is something that gives Anthos and it shows that shows our expertise on getting people to the cloud because we give you these options. So I'll give you a very short demo on Anthos, so just so at least you have an idea of what it is. So this is what we call the Google Cloud Console. So when you go to the cloud, you can actually just see this is our Google Cloud Console, which we use to manage all of our Google Cloud resources. Now, specifically, I'm on the Anthos section of my dashboard. So as you can see in this, I actually have three clusters. Okay, so I have three Anthos Kubernetes clusters deployed. So two of them are actually running on GKE, which is great. Which means that that everything is working fine. But maybe the third one, this is what's interesting, is that this is actually a cluster running on AKS or Azure Kubernetes Services. Okay, so from here I can already see that hey, I have a third cluster. It's running. It's actually running in a different cloud. And if I click on it, I can actually even see, hey, this is really my cluster, my Kubernetes cluster running on Azure, right? And that's all from within the Google Cloud Console. So as you can see, this is actually a real cluster that is running on Azure, Microsoft Azure, because Anthos, we have recently released Anthos on Microsoft for Azure, and this is something that we can easily add to our management pane. What's the advantage of having visibility on all of these three clusters, right? So this is what the dashboard looks like. So when you go into your dashboard, you can easily see like data across your three clusters. The first is you can see the cost. How much are you spending for your clusters that are on the Google Cloud and on other clouds, right? So I can already see the usage and cost. You can also see the services that are running across all those three clusters to see are they running well? Are any services not running? If there was an issue, you'd automatically see it here. Okay. And then you can see the health of your clusters without having to go to each and every without Anthos, you would have to go to each and every clusters and see like, hey, how's it doing? But with Anthos, you're able to see the status of all of your clusters, right? And lastly, like you can actually do configuration management. So from Anthos itself, you can actually push configuration changes across all of your clusters, all from a single pane of glass. And this is something that makes managing and adopting Kubernetes easier for a lot of customers. And this is a lot of the reasons why a lot of startups like us, because they actually love using Kubernetes, and this actually helps them manage their Kubernetes clusters. Okay, so as you can see, I've shown you that Anthos is a really good platform to help you modernize your systems. So you can use modern, like if you're already using containers, Anthos can help you there. If you want to migrate your legacy VM-based applications, you can also use Anthos to do that. Or if you have existing third-party tools that are actually that you want to manage, Anthos can help you manage that and deploy across multiple clouds and even on your existing hardware. So we have partnerships with HP, Dell, VMware. So we've been doing this a long time. So we've already built these partnerships and even have guidance for it. Um, this is why we really believe that the future is really on a shows our commitment, our investment in multi-cloud and hybrid for this. A lot of customers have adopted uh, uh, a lot of customers have adopted these technologies as well as our partners. So we have actually given guidance to our on our website of if let's say you have existing investments in Dell, HP, Intel, hardware, VMware, Anthos. We have published Anthos guidance on this on how you can configure your existing infrastructure and what are the requirements to be able to run Anthos on your existing hardware. So to summarize, why GCP? Why should you adopt Google Cloud and Anthos for app modernization? First of all, is I said we've put your compute data and we've used open source technology to enable you to do hybrid and multi-cloud. Um, with Anthos, you can actually achieve consistency, security, and connectivity at scale. So, and most of all, you can actually get build new, and you can your new and existing workloads will actually benefit from it, simply because once you're in Google Cloud, you have access to our AI technologies such as BigQuery on Anthos, so you can actually run your data warehouse on top of Anthos and use BigQuery to analyze your usage and really do use AI models to help you run your infrastructure better and even extend it to your applications, right? And and for us in Google, when we work with customers, it's an end to end partnership. For us, it's we understand that um, you know uh, we don't just do it like we don't just do one project and we're done. Like, hey, you've migrated to your cloud, we're done. No, our partners and the philosophy of Google the way we train our partners is really that hey, this is not moving your stuff to the cloud. It's just step one. We actually want to be there for your whole journey, not just after you move. We actually want to show you how you can continuously innovate and modernize your infrastructure. And every year we introduce new technologies that help enhance these customers' business. So the ones that I work with, they're very happy because when we started out, it was just a very basic project of, hey, I just want to reduce my servers. I just want to, want to move my virtual machines, or probably I want to do my backups on the cloud. But after years of working with us, they've suddenly said, hey, you know what? Can I run my data warehouse on your cloud? And then later on, it becomes, hey, you know what? I heard, is there a way that I can leverage your AI technologies or your microservices to help make my applications, or I want to develop new applications that are leveraging microservices and AI technologies for the cloud. So for us in Google, it's all about the innovation and the long-term journey, and not just a single project. So that is why I think Google it is really, we would love to have that conversation with you. So thank you very much, and I hope this has been a useful session for everyone. And please stay safe. I hope everyone is doing well at home, but more importantly, please stay safe out there. And I hope that maybe in the future we can have an in-person event and I can do more demos for all of you. So thank you very much.